Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your man, Hunter Grand, your personal agent for change, making life easy, Barzini.
And I'm Fempreneur Extraordinaire, Tech Diva all day, Dre Renee.
And this is the Crossroads, where there's only one rule,
Be free to be you.
and we back like we never left.
Right?
We spoiling y'all
Two
this
days
week.
in a row? What?
But we had to get to this one, because y'all
Quickly.
been talking about it.
Hey, Jess.
What up? Long time no see.
I know she's working hard and
Hmm.
vacationing and
Okay.
baby's birthdays and husband's birthday. It's just been a lot going on.
Okay. Well,
So
we
I
gotta
am
we gotta make sure she in the members area, so she don't miss
absolutely,
nothing. We'll,
absolutely.
we'll tell you about that in a second. Matter of fact, let's do that right now. Let's knock the sponsors out real quick so we can get into the show and what we're talking about tonight. So, y'all, as always, the Crossroads Podcast is brought to you by the House of 334.
It's the house.
For all your business brand and copyright needs, go to houseof334.com. It is black owned, it is woman owned, it is black woman owned, and it is amazing. And make sure you move quickly because the house will fill up fast. The Crossroads is also brought to you by The Crossroads. Y'all, you can find everything that we do at our bit.ly. That's bit.ly/, The Crossroads, THEXROSSROADZ. If you're watching us right now, make sure that you scroll down, hit that subscribe button on the YouTube. Make sure that you hit the bell so you know when we're going live, when we get all of our shows, and everything else. And y'all, as we've been saying every week, or not even just several times a week now, we have launched our Patreon, our members area, right? So we want everybody to take advantage of that. All of our exclusive content that will be in our members area. Yes, we are going live for you right now, but this episode, once we're done, right? And it will not be available. It's only available to our members. After we do the live broadcast, but we also actually have other exclusive content that will be in there. So what you're watching now is the watch party, and we've been doing well, let me let you know what the watch party is. Watch party is where you all choose movies or TV shows or series that are pretty popular that you want us to watch, and we come on here and we talk about it, we review it, we unpack it. We share all of the thoughts, and the community can actually chime in on it as well. So we've been doing House of the Dragon every week, which has been going up, but today we are talking about Tyler Perry's new movie. What's it? Divorce in the Black. What's it called? Divorce in the Black.
Yeah, I don't understand. I
I,
mean, that one line she had, but I was like, I don't get it as a title. But
yeah, I didn't have time to Google like what does that even mean. But
yes.
whatever.
Before we get
SOCKS.
there though, I can you tell the folks about the tiers just so everyone knows they have a place to play, and
Yeah.
then we'll get into this.
We have several tiers in the Patreon for your support level. So it's starting from $11 all the way up to $50. However, every tier has the same access to everything that we're doing. So we do the tiers just based on your level that you want to support. And any level that you decide to support, we are super appreciative. We appreciate those who have been supporting us from day one. So whether you're a day one or this is your first day, right? Um, we love y'all all the same. So we have several tiers and people are supporting on different levels. So I don't want you to feel obligated to have to support at any particular level, but whichever level you choose, whichever level you're comfortable with, whichever level fits your budget, we love you all the same, which is why we give everybody the same access. We don't have a system to where it's particular content based on the tier level that you come in. So we wanted to make sure that our community had access to everything, right? So if you'd like to give more. If if
Sure.
you want to come in and do the lowest tier, do the lowest tier, right? It's all that's why we made it. So we
And every penny counts. Every
every
dollar counts. Look, we have new sound.
right.
Test 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Right, we're
So
doing these things for you all. I'm so excited about the improvements that are ahead, and those of you that are partnering with us to do that, and also becoming a part of the community. So
mhm.
we've long had the roadies and the road dogs, but now we have a special place for us to all gather together, have some fun, have some conversations outside of uh, the recorded pod.
Absolutely. So, we still will have the pre-recorded, and those episodes are coming soon. But when you are a member, you get those episodes early.
Mhm.
We
Sure
also
enough.
have episodes that are no longer on our public YouTube that are only exclusive in the members area as well. So lots of perks, and when the merch comes out and everything else, y'all get first dibs, especially discounts on the merch. Pause with dick counts. Like so yeah,
All right. You did
that's
well.
you know,
Thank you. Thank you for
yeah.
that extended commercial.
Right. Well, I'll work that into the pitch. So Drake calls me today, y'all.
It was a text.
It was a text. Right. She contacted me. I don't all the shit runs. We talk all the time, so it all runs together. So she reaches out
Hmm.
and asks, "Have I seen?" Well, she no, she doesn't. She doesn't ask, "Have I seen it?" She says, "I assume you haven't seen it," because she
I know him.
knows. Right. She knows the my content intake, and it does not include these type of movies. That's not a shot at Tyler Perry, but like what? So, but she's like, everybody's talking about it,
Yep.
and so we were gonna do a watch party on it. So I had to take a pause for the cause today and log into
So it's
Prime.
fresh.
Right. Log into Prime and I gave it a watch. And I posted about it. So for those of you who are on the post, thank you for participating in the comments there and for joining us. But I was very specific on um like what do you think about the content of the movie versus whether you thought it was good or bad, right?
Hmm.
Because one thing about Tyler Perry, the reviews are always super polarizing, right?
Yeah,
I think he got a 0 on Rotten
it
Tomatoes.
did. I was
Yeah,
like,
but okay, but yet everybody's still watching it,
I'm watching it.
And I've had half of my timeline talking about how terrible it was, and then the other half is like, no, I'm not. It was thirds. We had terrible. It ain't that bad, and I liked it. It was good.
I liked it. Was good. Yeah, that's
You
true.
know.
That's true.
So one, you can't like, and I really want to urge people when movies and shows come out, um, just if it looks interesting to you and you were going to watch it, go ahead and give it a watch. Because I do see people that somebody come on and say how terrible it is, and then someone's like, "Oh, you saved me time. I was gonna watch it."
Yeah, I
You
don't.
know,
Yeah, I'm like, yeah,
yeah,
watch
just
it yourself.
watch it for yourself. And if you
Yeah.
didn't like it, then you didn't like it. But
Or
um,
let the truth actually be told. Okay,
right.
if people admit it or not, this is some folks' reality, and I really want us to get into that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like Tyler Perry overdoes a lot, but there are definitely some things in our community or
Mm-hmm.
somebody you can think of like, that's such and so's family. So much so that we actually had someone who said, "Yeah, that's my family," right?
Listen, the very thing there was so much relatable content in the movie that people can connect to, right? You've got people that have been physically abused. You have people that have been emotionally and sexually abused. You've had people that have had stalkers and all the things that we saw. The thing that if you asked me in a million years, pick the thing from the movie that is least likely to have happened to somebody that has watched the movie, it would have been taking someone out of the casket.
Jesus Lord.
And we did have somebody in the comments say her twin brother took his daughter out of the casket at her funeral, cussed his mom out, and yeah.
I can't even imagine.
Because people are saying, like, you have people saying, "Oh, I can relate. I can relate." That's not the part that I would
That's not
ever think
right.
someone
Exactly. Like,
was
that's the part
relating
you can
to.
relate to.
Yeah, like, all right, take them out the casket.
Yeah, man.
So, let's say I think the relatability is why people like it despite its shortcomings as an actual production.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. Now, okay, let's talk about the production part because almost every Tyler Perry production, you have, divided masses.
I mean,
Ki-
and from the beginning, right? So clearly he wasn't a billionaire in the beginning, but like
Mhm.
bad wigs and the mics that used to sit right in the
Right.
middle of
Yeah.
the forehead, right? Like that was the shtick. So
Hmm.
I'm wondering a little bit, like, are you just rolling with, kind of what got you here? You don't really have to do extra, or are you doing bare minimum so that you can take the,
But is it bare?
profits and then pay?
But is it bare minimum though? Right. So, and I actually had a bare minimum conversation today. So to me, there's a level of genius to what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's I feel like he's definitely more quantity than quality.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But look at the effects of the quantity. It's like if I put out fewer movies or productions, um it could be lower revenue, but the more that I put out, the more people are working. I have a studio that I have to run, right?
Mm-hmm.
And on this studio I have people in my employ, and they only get paid when we produce. So
Mm-hmm.
I ain't got a year to write a movie and blah 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 when I can write it in a night. Like he can turn a script out in, and they can shoot a movie in a week. If not, you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have a friend that works for Tyler Perry Studios.
Okay.
So he's created a system that has a very fast turnaround, and it's all
Mm-hmm.
in house. So one, I got to give him props, regardless of what we think about the quality of the production. He's got people working.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, um, people gonna watch it, and people
That
are
part.
watching it. You know what I'm
That
saying?
part. Modern TP has stepped it up on production value. For me, it's really just about how poorly written the scripts are. If he cares about that, he needs to hire writers. And so, yeah, I guess we're back at what does he care about? You know.
Well, I'll say, but so the thing is, he's got a formula. We
Mm-hmm.
know this, right? This goes all the way to Diary of a Mad Black Woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
um Woman, and this formula is clearly targeting a specific demographic, right? He writes for women,
Really. Mm-hmm.
right? So you got a woman that's doing bad, blah 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 blah. She's with some dark skin. Now this time they gave her, hey, we had a light skinned villain this time, because it's normally some dark skinned dude treating her bad. Here comes some light
And the
skinned
light
dude
skinned dude will
to
come and
save
save
her,
her.
trying to get his
Yeah.
life together. Like he ain't got a whole lot, but what he does have is hers, and he's trying to show her that not all men are the same, and there's somebody that'll love her, and she doesn't trust it because she's been through so much, until she
Mm-hmm.
figures out like, oh, maybe you are a good guy, and I'll give love a chance again. And then she finds her strength and either beats up or tails off the dark skinned dude, right? And if we
Mm-hmm.
go movie by movie, we see it. So you had Steve Harris was the dark skinned villain,
And we still don't like him to this day.
right?
Like,
Then you had Blair Underwood, and then the
yeah.
light skinned savior. You had Shamar Moore, Boris Kojo, Rick Fox. Um, like
Well,
it's
you see these, haven't you? Look at you.
yeah, yeah.
You
I've seen,
got them.
right. So the thing is, we know the formula.
We know the
We
formula,
know the formula.
and yet we're still
And so
we
the thing
peeking at
is,
it.
the message to Tyler is like, hey, he's not reading the comments, he's reading the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And if you watching it, I'm gonna keep
He's
producing it.
doing that right.
You know, like I'm not listening to the chatter. And to me, he's the Floyd Mayweather of movies,
Mm.
right? Because when we talk Floyd, what made Floyd great? He reached a level of fame that he fired his promoter. He didn't need a promoter. He was like, I'm Floyd Mayweather. People are going to come see me fight regardless.
Mm-hmm.
And he fought twice a year, Cinco de Mayo and Labor Day. That's what it was. He owned Vegas, right? I'm fighting in Vegas. I'm fighting twice a year, and I'm making 100 mil. And the people hate me because I talk all kinds of shit, right? And those people are gonna buy the fight because they want to see me lose. And then the fans and boxing fans that love me and love my defensive prowess and everything else, they're gonna buy the fight because they want to see me win. But either way, I'm getting all the money.
Y'all gonna be here.
And my job is to go now and win I sold the fight. Now I gotta go win the fight, and then I do it all over again. That's the formula. And he's made hundreds of millions doing it. So why change it up? And people are like, oh, well, he ain't fought nobody. Oh, his fights are boring, but you're still buying it, right?
Yeah,
And
I
so
liked Acrimony too, Adri. I saw somebody in my thread that said they hated Acrimony. I was like, I liked it.
is that the one with Taraji?
Oh, Taraji, yeah.
Okay,
I
I
mean, the
didn't see that.
story was interesting.
Now I will say this: I love, I'm not knocking Tyler Perry what he does. No, I don't love all his movies. My favorite movies that he's done are the ones that deviate from the formula, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Why Did I Get Married? I enjoyed
Yep.
those.
Mm-hmm.
Um, The Family That Prays, I love that one,
Love.
right?
Absolutely. The
Why
latest one, A Jazzman's Blues, that was a good one. I
I
don't know if you
haven't
watched
seen
it.
it.
It was on
Yeah,
Netflix.
yeah,
Well, maybe
but
it's
yeah,
not the latest because he did that Mia Culpa one, but you know what I mean.
yeah, but like The Family That Prays, you had different characters, right? Different
Hmm.
character arcs. It was just way different, right?
Yeah.
I love Kathy Bates, period. But I loved her in this, and like in
She
my favorite line, it's not that I don't trust you, son. It's your private thoughts that gives me
give me a
pause.
pause. Yes, good. Yes, yes. Good Deeds was a good one
Okay, yeah. So
as
that was
well.
different.
Yeah.
But also notice this: every movie that Tyler plays in himself, he's always the straight arrow guy. Like he's never the one that's got
Oh,
the
yeah.
the dark past and all this other stuff, right? So in like Why Did I Get Married? He was the good doctor.
Hmm.
Everybody else had all these skeletons and demons, but except him, and he was the one getting done wrong, right?
I guess that's what
Then
happens when you write the script.
right, Family That Prays. He was I got us out of debt, and can we just he's the hard working man with the good marriage and doing right by his wife. Like everybody got a problem except him,
Except him. Except him.
and the other one, Diary. He was a lawyer, and his wife was a crackhead, and he's just trying to raise his kid and go to
Raise his
church.
kid. That's
And
right.
I'm like,
That's right. That's right. He know what to do. He know what to do.
oh yeah, 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 yeah. And then everything else, he's Medea. So
Right. Right.
yeah, yeah. But
Well, let's go on and get into the actual,
the reason
what
we
we
here.
liked, I mean, if there was anything we liked. I'm a Tyler Perry fan, so I don't,
Uh-huh.
and I explained this in my post. Like, I don't go in with high expectations. I do go to be entertained. Like, I know he's gonna give me one. Like, it's
Hmm.
something that's either gonna make my jaw drop or I'm gonna laugh. And of course, I watch people talk about this opening scene. So if you have not seen the movie, it's about to be a spoiler. I think we
Hmm.
already
The
kind
whole
of
show
spoiled
about to
it,
be
but
spoilers, but
yeah, but just know that for yourself. Um, so I kept seeing people like, that opening scene was just too much. And I was trying to figure out like what could be too much, and I still wasn't ready. Like we're sitting at this funeral and I'm like, okay, what's going on? And the daddy's preaching hell fire, like, hey, if your
yeah,
brother was here,
uh-huh.
he would
And
warn y'all not to. And I was
right.
like, oh my God, is
I've
he
learned, yeah,
saying
I've
this?
learned that Tyler Perry writes plays for screen, right? And so
Mhm.
if this were a stage play, it would have been so awesome, right? Like the opening scene, everything else, because the acting is still stage play, the scenarios, like the over the top, because you gotta be over the top in a play, right?
Oh my
That's
God.
how he writes. So this
Yeah,
opening scene, it was just so much, right?
it was. I was just like, okay, is he because
Right.
again, we don't know who all these people are yet. So I'm just
Uh,
like, OMG, like
mhm.
this mother and sons are here to bury their loved one, and he is going in. And then, she's like, are you saying my boy is in hell? I'm like, yeah, that's what that's what
Yeah.
he's saying. And then we get the backstory of the Bertrand family. The boys have wreaked havoc on the
Mhm.
small town for years. The mom seems to be an enabler, or at least at that point in time, it looks like she excuses whatever they've done. And the pastor is going in. His daughter, Ava,
Mhm.
is married to one of the sons, the younger sons, Dallas, or he might be the youngest. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's the
Um,
youngest.
yeah, and so I mean, it really was stage play. So Adri, who's in the chat, posted a link to a video where someone turned it into a musical. That opening scene. So someone's singing on top of what's going
What the
on.
what?
That so it absolutely, like, if that was on stage, I don't think
Right.
we could have made it out. I think everybody would be like on the floor, rolling in the aisles because
Yeah, but when she go, no, take him out of the casket.
yeah, well, it was like get the boy, and
Get
they're like, okay, they about to
and
go pick up
they
the
about to be
casket.
pallbearers, and he's like,
Leave the casket and take him out,
and
and
take him out.
everybody's like, excuse.
Right. And so
And
now you just
then she takes it up a notch, right? And comes out of her clothes like, okay, well, I don't need this little hand-me-down dress.
and I
And
thought
my
she was
boy
about to
don't
fight
fit
at
me.
first.
I thought it was a fight move too, because I was like, oh shoot, she took her hat off. I was like,
Yeah.
she about to stampede little Debbie Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
And
And she
but
talk
no,
about these hand-me-down clothes. I was like, how big was Debbie? Because y'all not wearing the same size here.
right. Maybe it was
Right.
from the church.
Whatever. But
Yeah, yeah.
hey, so
So
yeah,
they
so
take
we
the oldest brother is the one that has been killed. Basically, an elder was trying to protect themselves and shot him because he was a menace.
Mhm. Right.
So yeah, they take his body out, load him up into the pickup truck, and drive on back to their plot of land to bury him
In the
by
yard.
the doggone
Which
camper.
and which you know what? Should have let him do it from the get, you know. And now all of a sudden it's Megan's for what's her name in the movie?
Ava.
Ava. Yeah, it's all this is somehow Ava's fault, right? You know, you said he was gonna say nice things about my boy, but
And
your
I'm
boy
like,
ain't did nice
what
things.
could he say that was nice?
Right. Right.
Delulu.
Right. So, and that's a great question. But they accepted it. It
Mm,
went bad. And so now he's like there was no build up to the anger. There was no flashpoint. Like he was Dallas was mad the whole movie, right?
right.
Just I'm in the car mad. And I
Mhm.
get it considering what just happened, but we didn't get an arc of their relationship. Like if this family's been wreaking havoc their whole life, your daddy's the pastor in this small town. How did y'all
100%.
even end up together?
Come on,
And
ask
how
one of
did
them.
y'all? Because I guess they was together since they was young.
High school, because yeah, the first story she tells when they're in the truck is like,
Yeah,
oh,
was a
prom.
prom,
So
right?
at least senior year in high school.
Right. So that didn't fit for me in the sense that the parents, the relationship with her parents, they have mad influence.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So how did they allow that? Right? Because she wasn't defiant or rebellious. It would make more sense if there was a strained relationship with the parent.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? But they had their relationship was solid,
It was solid.
and now you dating the town bad boy. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Um, and so he's already on some you trying to fix me, you trying to change me. I would have loved to see some of those interactions. Like it's just it went just straight to the conflict, right?
Right,
There
right.
were no ups and downs. They were just at odds from jump, you
Yeah.
know.
And I thought that was interesting too, not necessarily for the story, but of course, I'm always thinking about our topics and, male and female
Mhm,
interaction. And, just thinking about that, like for women, many times we're thinking, like, oh, I'm just trying to help, or, I want to bring you in my world or bring a little of my world into your world. And often that can be
mhm,
construed as like, I'm not good enough, or my way is not good enough, my family's way is not good enough. And I
mhm,
don't know if I'm gonna assume he had expressed it to her before, but maybe he hadn't.
mhm.
Or
I
in
mean,
a
I would
way,
have liked to see it.
right? Well, true,
Like
because
I would
in
have
the
liked to see him sober, right? Like, can we
last,
see a sober interaction to where it's normal? She says something that triggers him, not meaning to trigger him, but because he's off,
the
like
real,
he
yeah.
take everything personally, you know what I mean? And
Hmm.
then that drives him to drinking, and then he's acting up. But he just acted up and was drunk the whole movie.
The whole time,
Yeah.
whole time. So we got, we advanced the story forward. He goes out with his brothers. They're shooting pool. Well, he pretty much cussed her out and told her to get out his truck. I mean, plenty of times he made her, feel about this big. But get out the truck and,
with them two fingers the whole time.
Oh yeah, that was his. That was his thing, right? I ain't gonna tell you. It very much gave Ike Turner anime.
Nah.
So yeah, more drinking with his brothers. You know, she winds up. I guess it's some sort of local hole in the wall. She seems to be cool with the owner. Like, yeah, him and his brothers in the back there. Go get them. And she's, trying to get him home. Here's the next thing: wherever they're from, they live, or the main characters live in Atlanta or just outside of Atlanta, and so they are what, an hour and a half away from this town that they keep.
Right. I'm like, where did I go? We don't even know where this town is.
I have no clue what the town is and where it is, but I'm on my way. I'll be there in an hour and a half.
An hour and a half. This couldn't have been set in LA because ain't nobody driving an hour and a half nowhere in LA.
No,
call the police.
OMG.
And Dallas was getting places real fast. We're gonna get to that, but like
he definitely was. So this was the first time that we meet Benji. So Benji is also a childhood friend. Looks like there was some chemistry between him and Ava when they were younger. And then Dallas and his brothers wind up or at least the brothers did, wind up putting him in the hospital as a result of his affection toward Ava. And so it gets stirred up again while they're, hey, how you doing? How you been? In the parking lot. And here comes Dallas and company like, oh, we need to put him back in the hospital. I was like, back?
Right.
So again, we're getting little pieces of things that happened in the past, but not real context. Things, we have to piece together. So that situation happens. Ava is able to de-escalate, by getting his now oldest brother like, hey, I got to get him home. He has to go to work. So he's like, okay, cool. Get him in the car. You're driving. Because this fool's like trying to drive drunk.
Right.
They wind up getting in the fisticuffs.
Yeah.
He had to get them paws put on him and then get in the car and go home. And in the middle of the night, he's crying on the bathroom floor. And so I think that was the moment we were supposed to see, I guess, like why she was still there, like, oh, he has issues, if you will. So he divulges in some manner that his mom asked him to kill his dad. And we don't know why at that time.
That would have been a moment for a flashback, like somewhere. Like what? Yeah.
Yeah. And why are you still with me? He's crying. She's consoling him. We're going to get you some help. He's like, no help, no help. I'm like, no, you need help. But that I feel like that was the last time we saw them in some sort of loving, I mean, if you can call it loving, but some sort of state that wasn't volatile.
It was still volatile.
Well, yeah. Well, he wasn't mad
towards
at her.
Yeah.
Yes. Right.
Yeah. So then we have the next day. Like I think he had to get up. I think he was sober by the morning, but then he's still mad or whatnot. She goes to work. They come back from work and there's dinner plans.
With Rona and Jim. Those are the homies.
Right.
And what's wrong with Jim? So Jim was supposed to be his best friend. At first I was just like, who are you to this man? Okay, so this is your best friend.
So what you mean what's wrong with Jim? What's wrong with Jim?
Well, I just felt like he was like there to try to be some sort of buffer, but I don't feel like he served a purpose, really. Like, or you just feel like he couldn't?
So here's the thing. I feel bad for Jim. I feel bad I didn't either.
Yeah, Rona was a lot. Yeah, she was a lot.
Yeah, she was extra. And talked too much.
And
did too much.
Yeah.
Like, hey, huh? And so Jim and Dallas were supposed to be best friends, but like you keep putting him in the worst position, right?
Hmm.
Rona and Dallas. Dallas is basically like, you're supposed to be my boy, you my best friend, blah, 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 blah. But then Rona's, I'm your wife though. And so it's like,
Hmm.
I gotta take Ava's side because Ava's my wife's best friend over my like,
Yeah, that's pretty much what it
no,
boiled
because but
down. I mean,
me,
that's how it played out.
it played out that way. But my thing is, at the end of the day, look, my charge is for you. I ain't married to Ava.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Now, I think the best thing Jim could have done was stay out of it, but Rona keeps like pushing him in the middle of like, go help my friend, basically. And I don't like.
I mean, I
I
just what I was referring to was his interaction with Dallas. It just seemed like you weren't effective in anything, so why were you there? I
well,
don't.
I mean, but at the end of the day, Dallas seems like he was more motivated by his brothers than his friend.
Exactly.
You know what
So
I'm saying?
I
So
guess
I
you might
mean,
as
but
well
like it's
side
like,
with
hey, we friends. I'm
Ava.
gonna try to talk to you, but it ain't much I can do. And you a
Hmm.
grown ass man. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I guess
Look,
that's why he
I
decided
tell my
to.
boys all the time, I'm your friend, not your judge.
Mm,
However, if you go somewhere, you screw up your marriage or you mess up and like whatever, and look, I got a couch, you got 7 days. Whatever you got 7 days to do whatever, and then you take your ass out and go fix it. And I've said that to all of them. They know the policy. You know what I'm saying? I'm your boy regardless,
mm-hmm.
but also there's only so much that I'm gonna be able to do. I'll hear you out. You need to go drink, blow off some steam, whatever. I'm here for you, but at the end of the day, you got to fix whatever's going on in your. I can't do it. You know what I
Right.
mean? And
Right.
so I think a lot of them was looking at Jim, just like Dallas was looking at Jim, fix it. Oh,
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I didn't feel like they were best friends. I felt like Jim was somebody that didn't really want no smoke
mm,
with Dallas or that family. And so he probably made himself a friend. But I
mm.
don't,
I think he didn't want
friend in
no,
a
he
way
didn't
of
want to
like
be
I'm a yes
involved in the situation. That's
man.
I don't want to be involved in the situation. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Now, I will say one part was his fault is after the funeral, he was the one talking about, I've known him longer than you. And I think they
Hmm.
was just trying to establish the relationship. I'm gonna talk to him. He's been my friend longer than you, or I've
Yeah.
known him longer, blah, 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 blah. Okay, whatever. But after that, my guy, y'all extra with it. You know what I mean? So um we got Rona that's always pushing herself onto Ava. Like she kind of dominates Ava with what she
Hmm.
thinks Ava should do. You know what I
Right.
mean? Oh, I'm coming over there. Oh no, you coming. Oh no, we doing a restraint. Like it, Ava just never seemed to have a mind of her own.
Right. And so let's talk about that a little bit.
Mhm.
So do you feel like yes, she was extra and over the top, but depending on how long they have been friends and how long she has witnessed her friend go through this kind of stuff, do you think she was kind of just like, I'm tired of hearing this, I'm tired of looking at this, so I'm gonna push my agenda so that you can finally get out
No,
of
I
this?
think that's just who she is. Because when
Okay.
you take the time and you have written down every foul thing that he's done to you,
I was like, oh, you had time.
yeah, I think you in the business a little bit more than you should be. And I know you're looking out for your friend, but who's got that kind of time?
Right.
You know, for this moment, I wasn't gonna give it to you. Like, and you plan to give this to her at, like,
At the funeral,
yeah,
thankfully, Jim was like, "No," but then she was like, "I'm gonna find another time to do it."
right. You know what I'm saying? And so that's that thing where I tell people all the time, like, be careful what you tell your friends and family because they're not forgiving. So let's just say that this wasn't even meant to be a redemptive story, but let's just say Dallas did go to rehab one day and he did want to change his life and blah 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 blah, right?
Mhm.
He can do all of that, but you think somebody like Rona was ever going to see him any different than what she always has?
Probably not.
Right? So Ava might see him as this new man and falls back in love with him again, but to her and to the parents, he's always going to be the Dallas that he was before that.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
And
That's true.
so,
That's fair.
and so when you have somebody that's keeping now, I want to venture to say that Dallas has done some good things, and some nice things at some point in their marriage.
Mm-hmm.
She ain't write those down, right?
Well, no,
Yeah,
she didn't
no.
like him.
Yeah, she didn't like him. So I'm gonna keep and I'm not saying that like she was a good friend, but she was over the top. Like she was being too good of a friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, chill. So the
Yeah. Okay, so now we're at the dinner scene. Well, before we get there, just a slight part. He left her.
mm-hmm, that was
And they
extra.
showed the time, right?
Yeah,
So she asked for 45 minutes. I think she got done
it was
in
like
what,
30.
30?
Mm-hmm.
And that ninja was gone.
Right. Extra. Um, then they get to the table and then like Adria's talking like, oh, you don't when Rona's like, oh, you don't hear her talking to you. Like, girl, shut up. You like that whole thing at dinner, that was Rona's fault.
Yes.
Like, why are you trying to check another woman's husband? Because now you running off at the mouth and you putting Jim in the middle of it because as soon as he says something, flip to him, and then Jim, you don't do nothing. Like, I can't stand that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, your girl, if she's gonna stay with this dude, that's on her. You worry about this marriage right here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Because, yeah, you go popping off to another man. Now you got me in the position where I got to,
Right.
stand up and do something.
He's drunk. You know he's abusive. And now I
She
got
was Tasha Smith. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, she was worse. I think Tasha was a little bit different. Like, she had a mouth and everything else, but I don't think she was at the level of
Really?
Yeah.
Sheesh. That Angela
think
character.
she was-
Oh my god.
Yeah, she was I think this
She
the
was
worst
more like
part.
Dallas, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, she wasn't abusive.
She
to
may
her
get,
husband,
but I don't know. All I remember is
she let everybody have.
I was just,
She let everybody.
and I
have.
like her in real life, but yes, I don't know. So like Rona, like just that Rona and Dallas mix, I'm like, hey, that's just extra. So at dinner, he talking about he get and he had all these public, like, really, like I think he was just written.
You mean like how he was asking the people like what they're looking at or what?
Just over the top, everything. He's always having this public spaz out. You know what I'm saying? At dinner, at the bank, like it's just.
Can we? And somebody
the
put
grocery
this.
store.
I'm looking at the comments. But yeah, where was the security? Security. Where was the security in the bank and the grocery store?
I was gonna say this later. Like, nobody believed in calling the damn cops in this movie.
I was like, I know this is a little small podunk town because you try to pull that in LA. The taser is coming out. Like, this is not
immediately. First of all, you ain't even got to wait for security because random citizens got tasers.
It's going down.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, talking all loud in the bank while we try to do our transactions.
Right, and then
you're not supposed to use your phone in the bank, let alone all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so it should never have gotten to the point to where it did. For nobody to call anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Wild. I mean, I guess it was supposed to show like just how ridiculous this family was and maybe how scared people were. I don't know, but I was just
he was in Atlanta though. He was driving up to Atlanta to do this.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, this wasn't in the little small town.
Yeah, the bank was in Atlanta and the grocery store was the whole
right.
Yeah.
And so like the bank, the restaurant, all that.
I'm the random citizen. You got it covered, huh?
Right.
I love it.
Yeah. So it was he was a lot and nobody thought to call the cops. So he yelling and screaming, talking about he want a divorce.
He want a divorce, yeah.
I bet. And then when she granted the divorce too quickly. So let me tell you what I thought was going to happen too, right? When she came in there and then the lawyer was like, I recommend that you allow your counsel to. I felt like when she said she read it, that Dallas went back and amended the divorce papers or something like that. Okay. Like he got the house, like he went and changed it, like he gets the house or blah blah. So she signs it real quick, and now she ain't got no house, and like I thought it was gonna go that.
Yeah, something. Yeah, I think I did too. Like, is this gonna serve her well? I feel like.
And why was Jim there?
So I thought Jim was the lawyer
Right.
until
He was dressed like a lawyer. I was like, wait, he representing
he
this
was a
homeboy?
witness. Maybe they're like, you need witness. And of course, I don't know anything about divorce, but maybe you need witnesses to get divorced, just like you do to get married.
I
I don't know.
I just you just sign papers, and somebody gets served with some papers and you sign them. But
I
she
mean,
signed
because
them quick.
Rona was there, so maybe that was his witness, and then her witness. I'm
Right.
not sure. I
But
don't know.
then she signs them and he turned around. She been playing me this whole time. You see how fast she signed them papers? She
That's when you know he was unhinged and unbalanced because, sir, you literally asked for this in
yeah.
front of everybody and their mama, and
Mhm.
then I give it to you, and now I did something to you.
Right.
Oh, wonderful.
Now, what I didn't like about Ava though was her do how duplicitous she was when it came to Benji. Right.
Mm.
It's like you see him and it's oh hey da 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 da. Right now, wait. Before I even get to her, let me get to Cornball Benji.
Tennessee whiskey Benji. I
Right.
love it.
Like, bro,
Uh oh. Uh oh.
you got the overly good guy, you know what I'm saying? And he was stupid. So like, okay, I'll get to that part.
Yeah, that was
But
another.
like,
And you better be there by 11.
and you
By
better,
11.
you know. But you got
Mm.
this dude. She tells you she's getting divorced. Like the last time you saw her, she was married,
Mhm.
and the drunk husband. Then you see her again, and she's getting a divorce. And you now you adding pressure, and I
Mhm.
know the parents is putting them up to it. So, like, can you let this woman heal?
Yeah, that was
And
interesting too. That her
you use
parents
and
were.
and here's what was like. It was kind of snaky to me because it made it disingenuous how you're going to use your divorce as an end to connect with her when your intent is to get with her. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so you went through this divorce and you had the opportunity to have time and go through this healing process and blah 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 blah. The ink ain't dry on her papers, and you you know what I'm saying, applying pressure, pressure, pressure. And she keep telling you, "Oh, I need time, I'm pushing you away and everything else," right?
Mhm.
And so then you want to be then she trying to give you some, you know,
And then he
and
was
then
like, "No, no,
and you
no,
want to be all noble.
I can't."
Right.
Well, I mean, he acknowledged that he wanted to, but he was just like, "Now's not the time."
Come on. Look. But and that
Also,
was
he just should have went for it. And
absolutely, because
oh,
okay, so like as far as the story goes, that would make for some more arc, right? Let's just say like she says it, he does it, now he's kind of emotionally vested, and then she's like, "Hey, I made a mistake." And now,
mm,
because all the other ones, the light skinned dude pulls away, right? Because I'm trying to show you, and you not trusting me, and then she has the revelation moment, right? So yeah, they end up smashing, but they still smashed under the same circumstance. She told him when they actually did have sex, she told him it was just sex.
yeah.
Like, so what's the difference now? What's the difference now than in the
Well,
truck?
I think one. Well, no, she was under the influence both times, right? Because she
Hmm.
had sort of edible or something.
No, that was at the
Some
party
drinks.
when they did the
But
little
wasn't that
divorce
right
party.
after? I thought he brought her home from the party, right?
Did he? It may have
Yeah.
been. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
so after the
So
divorce, Rona
right.
throws her a divorce party,
Right.
and they
Which
are
wait, pause right there,
oh,
because that was the weirdest shit ever.
a
Like,
divorce party.
why are Benji and Jim there? And you got these strippers coming out.
Well, I guess she first it's Jim's house. So unless you were sending him somewhere, that's where he was.
Why were Jim
And
and Benji
Benji was there
there?
for Ava.
So, bro, I'm not like, okay, if you gonna have the divorce party with the strippers, have the divorce party with the strippers. I'm
Well,
not
it's
gonna.
not. We didn't see no meat swinging around, so maybe it
It's
was
a
just a
Tyler Perry movie, but
maybe it
like,
was just buff guys
he
with their
got the
shirts
cast
off.
of all the Queen's Men or whatever that stripper movie the series he did to come over here. Like, come on, dog.
Oh my
Like I would
god,
not
I
want to
get
be
it,
there.
but
I'd
I
have been
get
like,
it.
hey, can y'all go put some shirts on? Like for real.
Oh Lord. Okay,
What's going on, right? And are all these women up here in here single?
I don't know.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
But she was at that point, and so she had the eye candy, and then
Hmm.
she had one that she could take to go, which is clearly what
I
happened.
thought it was weird. And who the hell taking all these damn pictures of them everywhere? Like we don't know who's taking the pictures at the fair. We don't know who's taking pictures at the party of them.
I
Even though,
assume the brothers took the ones at the fair.
but
Now, I don't
who
know
took the
about the party.
pictures at the? Well, maybe somebody
What
sent it to her
party?
and then she sent it to Dallas. When
Yeah.
when Dallas got the picture of her at the divorce party with Benji, I think she sent that one to him.
Oh, I don't remember that. I just remember him sitting outside the house, of course, and then word gets back like, "Hey."
Right.
Well, not word.
Yeah.
Jim comes outside and then confronts him, and that's when he's like, oh my
Yeah.
God,
But
can you
so
believe that she was so eager to divorce me? And then, he's trying
yeah,
to get inside the party and realizes that
she in
Ava's
there
in there
with Benji. Yeah.
with
Well, I
Benji.
don't think Benji was in there.
Well, right, yeah, but just that she was
Yeah.
there and there was a party going on, and so, you know, he drives off drunk. Benji winds up taking Ava home. They have this weird exchange. Again, she's like, "Oh, it's just right, like you said, it's just gonna be physical," which I'm thinking, no, girl, it's not. But okay,
Hmm.
um, I guess it's nice to say, like, you don't even present that way.
Right. And
But
so now this is where Benji is stupid. Well, Benji was stupid from the jump. Like
Benji was trying to just have waited his turn, and he was just trying to step
you
up
know who this dude is. You done
cash.
already got jumped by his brothers. Like you know who they are, and you still like,
Benji, like,
man,
I'm
look.
big now. I lift weights. I bench press. They ain't gonna whoop me this time. So I'm gonna just go
Or
get what
they'll
I
shoot you.
want.
If they shot her daddy, like, bro,
Now you jumping ahead. But
I,
yes.
I did, but at the same time, so he
I just think we
smashed.
talk
He in the
about the
bed.
fact that,
Yeah,
y'all don't always make the best decisions
we
when
don't. But so first of all, she leaving this dude in the house while she going to work, right? And y'all just smashed the
I
first
wouldn't have
time.
been sleeping in there. Like I did what I came for, and then I'm taking my
And
hour and a
I'm
half
out.
drive back
So I'm in a post-coital coma,
out. Not.
right? And I get woken up with fisticuffs, like
Oh, yeah, Dallas downstairs with some
with the
toasted
shit.
oats.
Like, listen. First of all, hold up. You got to get your Marvin out. I'm going out for some mother toasted oats. You tripping?
You tripped it, right?
So he down there eating the toasted oats, talking about, yeah, you ain't happy to see me
Mhm.
after you broke in my house, fool.
My stuff's in the car. I'm moving back in, baby.
Oh,
I'm back.
and then she doesn't even remotely act like she got Benji upstairs. Like you don't see any nervousness or
Mayday, Mayday, something.
like something, or
Try
like
to get him
he's
out
trying.
the house. Like, hey,
Yeah,
let's go out and talk about this. Have some coffee.
right.
Lure him out. She literally let
And
him
she let
go
him
up.
go upstairs, and she didn't try to stop him getting away. Nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought Benji was gonna come downstairs, but now he's still up there, sleep. And that fight shouldn't have went the way that it did. Like, oh yeah, he just I'm gonna give you another chance. But then hold up. So then no, I got it. After he chokes him out and he passed out, she drags him all the way downstairs. Talking about no, I got it.
I was like, man, that must have been rage because she was dragging dead weight down the stairs.
And then gets outside talking about help me with him. Like you said you got it.
That man's looking at you do all that. He's like, dang, I'm impressed.
Well, you told me that, but also it's like, all right, if I'm Benji, I done got jumped by the dude brothers when I was young.
Mm-hmm.
I done got beat up out my sleep by this dude after he done broke in the house. Maybe I need to just look.
Take your hour and a
Right.
half drive back home.
Because I'm so like side note, because I've had that situation low key, right?
Now have you?
Yeah, well, it didn't get there. But what I'm saying is
I was like, I missed this.
met
story.
somebody, listen, fine as hell, right? We went out a couple times. We talking every day, you know what I'm saying? Like the hour long, you know what I'm saying, new emotion conversations when you really feeling somebody in the beginning. Everything was
Mhm.
Gucci, right?
And then.
So one day I call, I'm at work and I call, and she was always like upbeat, like kind of positive, right? Never
Mhm.
like kind of down. So this particular day I call and she sound like real down. And I'm like, oh damn, like what's wrong? What's going on? And I guess like some situation with her ex, blah 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 blah. Like she stopped messing with dude because I guess she found out some things about him and like start trying to ghost him or whatever. And then she went back on the dating app, and he
Mhm.
was on the app and saw her on the app and was like, "Oh, I thought you said, because she gave him some excuse like I gotta work on myself, blah blah blah." And then he sees her back on the app, so I guess he was like making threats or something like that. Like if I see you out with somebody, now she tells me that this is what he said. You've met me before. What do you think my response was talking about if I see you out with somebody? I'm
I don't see it.
like, hey, homie,
Mhm.
look.
Let's take some Ussies and post it. I don't know.
But right,
Make
but
sure they see.
also I was like, then like saner mind prevailed because I was like, while I like her, I ain't been talking to her long enough to try to be some knight in shining armor either,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
know. So I was like, all right, well, you need me to fall back until you hit me up until you fix that, whatever. I was like, you need me to fall back until you hit me, and
Mhm.
she said, yeah, that's all I needed to know, and I never heard from her again. So that's one, like, it wasn't no drama. You went back to him. Like ain't nobody
Mhm.
stupid. But also, if somebody was doing that, I'm not about to put myself in a position to where now I gotta fight and defend you over something that you had going on before me.
Mhm.
So I'm like, I'm not dating somebody whose house ain't clean. You know,
Mhm.
clean your house before you invite me in it. And while I ain't no punk, you know that, but I'm not about to willingly invite calamity into my life
Right.
when there's so many other women that I could talk to, you know. So Benji, and I'm like, if you feel somebody, okay, cool. I'm not saying that you ain't got to talk to her, but like you're using your divorce to get in. You're using her divorce and her emotional vulnerability. You kind of taking advantage of that, and now you got yourself in a situation where you could be hurt or killed, bro, instead of giving her the space to fix the
Yeah.
things that she needs to fix to get dude completely out of her life before you step in, because you coming in to a version of her that's not her, right?
Mhm.
Like you're coming in and to a broken version of her, but who is she gonna be when she's healed? When she healed, she might not be feeling you.
Right. Right.
Anything seemed good when you was broken and hurt as she was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But he
So
didn't seem to care about any of that. Like
at all.
I didn't get a
And
sense
you got a
of
daughter.
like maybe I shouldn't do that. Right. I never got a sense of maybe I shouldn't do this or this might be dangerous or especially somebody who has been put in the hospital by these same people. It's like yes, you're older, more physically fit, you may be trained in a certain, but still, like, these people are crazy. And like you
Right.
said, this is back in the day, they were fighting. Now is gunplay. They can
Yeah.
put you in the ground and keep walking. And it
And one of
never
them's in the
seemed,
ground for some mess that he was doing. So
yeah,
it's
it
a
didn't
whole
seem
it's
like
a
that
whole lot
crossed his
going on.
mind.
But then you leave her house
Yes.
and go home.
Hour and 30.
Yeah, I would drive 90 minutes only to find out he done killed your cows. First
Poison
of
the
all,
animal.
how the hell he get there so fast after getting his ass whooped?
And that's what I thought it was the brothers. I thought he made a phone call like, hey, do
Now
this,
that
blah, blah,
makes more
blah.
sense.
Because
It
he
may
was
have been.
not only to get home fast, get home ahead of him, and he was knocked out in the truck. There's no way
Right.
that could have
Yeah.
happened.
So maybe it was but that could have been included in, like, and then here come the sheriff. We don't know what happened. So all my animals just all died.
They just poisoned,
Right.
I do
Like,
believe.
sir, you are a white cop with black suspects. You can make an arrest. Y'all do any other time.
Jesus.
Right. But so now you want to go by the law.
Hmm.
And Benji's too calm there. Like cows aren't cheap. I ain't never bought a cow, but I know, right?
Yeah, and I assume he has them for some reason, right? Like they're producing something for him. So yeah, you're the cow itself, but then also
And all
milk.
she
I don't know,
say,
whatever.
and all she says, "I'm so
I'm
sorry."
so
Oh,
sorry. And he
don't worry
said,
about it. It's
"It's cool."
no, you kill my cows. Worry about it.
He was like, "It's cool."
What? You come on my property killing my animals? Nah,
Yeah.
worry about that. You know what I'm saying?
And
And
again,
it
he
happened because
didn't
I'm fooling with you. Now you can't blame her for
specifically.
that because she did say, like, look, I ain't, and he was pressing. So, like, this is what you're getting into. What if your child was there? You know what I'm saying? So they're coming to your house, homie, and you on some I don't care. You are a father.
Yes,
You are a father. And that part
absolutely.
is like, okay, so you just reckless. You ain't got good decision making. So then turn around and the dad is like, oh, I'm on my way to
Oh yeah,
Atlanta.
because they had kept Daddy in the dark just enough,
Right.
right? Like he knew, like, okay, he's bad news, but you
Mm-hmm.
know, the list of things that he had done that Rona wrote, the mom
Yeah,
found and had a
exactly.
breakdown, but they decided, like, ooh, we cannot tell your daddy
Because your
because
daddy gonna kill him. So
yeah,
he drive down there and give Ava a whole bunch of guns. You know what I mean?
he's like, stash this,
Yeah, all of that stuff.
Marines.
Marines. Yeah. Okay. All right, daddy. Um,
I mean,
all the
shout out to him
while,
for doing that.
yeah,
He
but
had
all
the
the
preference.
while, Dallas on his way back to the country,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
To rough up moms.
and then he see, oh, I see, and I see you still go to the grocery store every Tuesday. Now, Tyler, that was just lazy. That was lazy writing. That was lazy writing. You know, and he want to put his hands on mom and call her all kind of bees, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And
Ooh,
what
out of
black woman
pocket.
is gonna sit there and her response? I'm a woman of God. Come on, come on.
Oh God.
Hey, listen, I don't care how saved you are.
Oh my God. So we didn't talk about the affair specifically, but we have our concern has been for the daughter, right? Like
So no, he was
physically
taking
where she
her
been.
to answer
Go
that
ahead.
question. He took the daughter to the mother, like the mother was there to pick her up.
Yes. But also just have you thought about your daughter as you have been involved with, yeah, Jazz had it. She's on it.
Yeah.
Um, have you thought about your daughter while you out here getting involved with these shenanigans? Because I watch true crime.
Mm-hmm.
It's not many days that go by. I try to slow it down because I was like, I don't need this stuff in my consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
But I think about all the time, like this was unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
People, either not thinking or maybe, just assume like, okay, this person is not gonna respond that way. But typically these folks show you that they don't have it all, and you just out here
Yeah, reckless.
risking it.
Because two things. One, your daughter's in direct danger, right? Because they're coming to your home and causing harm,
Mm-hmm.
right? Secondly, if your daughter sees all of this, what are you teaching her?
Mm.
Right? What are you showing her? Hey, I'm gonna stick, and then by sticking with this woman with this danger, what are you saying to your daughter? Like, hey, I'm prioritizing this relationship in my loins, even though there's danger over you. Like, hey, we're gonna work out, instead of
Mm.
saying like, hey, this is bringing too much, and I have to think about my daughter more
I
than that.
hope
You know
the
what I'm
mom
saying?
was just like,
And
I
then like,
got it.
and so I never advocate for somebody keeping a child from their father. But if I were the mother,
Yeah.
you got all this going on, homie.
And she don't know nothing, and she don't know any of that happened over the weekend or whatever, whatever the time span was. Like, can you imagine? Like,
Right.
even
So
knowing that your kid is in danger, and honestly, you could be in danger too.
right. And so if I was able, I was like, I can't mess with you because you irresponsible.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So
So
many
like
great points.
I have not dealt with women like based on how they moved with me and their kids. It's like, yeah, we can do what we do. If you coming through, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But I see how you move. And if I ever had kids with you and you did that, it's gonna be a problem. So no, I ain't fooling with you. Right? It was Hey, it was fun while it lasted, but this is about as far as it's gonna go. You know what I mean? So Benji, like it was dude was just stuck on stupid. Maybe it had been too long before he had some, or he been after her for too long. But
I think it was just his turn.
all money ain't good money. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So after we see Dallas not get the cops called on him again in the grocery store after putting his hands on mom,
Oh, Mom,
and then
yeah.
mom tried to act like ain't nothing happened
What happened?
when
But that's
Clarence
small
got back.
town. That's
When
small
Clarence
town talk.
and Clarence said, "Oh, you gonna act like I don't know."
Richard Lawson. He did
Richard
a great
Lawson.
job. He did a great job.
Oh, you gonna act like you know. So
Oh
Pops
my
Pops
God.
grab the strap, you know what I'm saying? Head over to the Bertrands,
hmm
get
I
himself.
just, again, I get it. The honor, defending your wife's honor, but also,
Okay,
sir,
so
if
here's
you weren't going there to let off as soon as you got out your truck, I don't even know why you went.
you went down there to say if you do it again. What kind of shit? What? No. No, and you went down there, man, like he didn't already put hands on your daughter. You had to go give your daughter guns. He didn't track your wife down. How much more need to happen,
It's
sir?
over. It's
Sir?
over, sir.
Sir. You know,
Oh, Lord.
and then you get shot
And then
and jumped and put in the
jumped.
hospital in a coma. And then they say we can't do nothing because he can't talk. He ain't sir. And here's the dumb part about that. Where did you pick him up from? Unconscious and shot.
Right. Did he shoot himself and lay down in front of these people, sir?
He
Oh,
went there by himself,
yeah.
right? Like, come on. And so
Mm, mm, mm.
then you got Dallas showing up to their house, and he started talking about Jim having an affair. Like, first of all, why
Oh,
you just
yeah, yeah,
walk?
yeah. So they were on a double date
Yeah,
at Jim and
this was
Rhonda.
prior to all this happening. But
Yeah.
first of all, why is your house just open like that for somebody to just be able to walk in? Number one.
That's his bestie. Maybe
Two, with Rona and Dallas hating each other the way they do, there is no way she was giving him access to the house like that. Like
that's true. Well,
the
he already has shown that he's proficient in breaking and
right,
entering.
right. Well, I mean, but the thing, no, but he just went over there. He didn't know he was gonna see what he was gonna see, so he's just walking into the homie house.
But you think their door was wide open?
It may have been like you gonna break into the homie house,
Well, I don't know. I don't know how he got in there. He
right?
definitely wasn't invited.
Yeah, and then talk about Moose step aside.
I just was like, this is the worst situation to be in. Like you said, for Jim to be the bestie, and
Right.
then yeah, you got this new Negro in the house because you trying to probably do something for your wife. Like, okay, yo,
Yeah,
best
and that's
friend
what I'm
wanna
talking
bring her
about. Like,
new
first of
dude.
all, like with everything as volatile as it was, Rona, why would you have him over to the house like that?
Yeah,
Like, this ain't the time to be double dating and everything else. Y'all got it's
the
too much
block is
going
hot.
on.
The block is
Yeah,
hot.
it's too much going on, and everybody isn't, you know. So that happened. They shoot the daddy in the hospital. So now and I knew the ending was kind of predictable. I knew what she was
hmm
going to do, you know.
Set
So
him up.
she sets him up, makes him beat her up, you know, so that she can get him arrested or justify shooting him. So
Because at some point you're just like, you know what? I tried this every other way,
yeah,
and
I
now
get
he's
it.
got to
Yeah, okay, cool. I get it.
go. Cool.
You know,
And
I
you done beat up my daddy and shot my daddy.
yeah, you
Like,
didn't
you know
shot
what?
somebody like, okay, yeah, you gotta get it,
Okay.
you know, but you ain't got arrested. There ain't no trial to prove self-defense, none of that. Like you just walking free. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And so the ending was that like I don't know what the
Stupid,
time lapse was because it
stupid.
was like, oh, now the baby boy or another brother's gotten shot. He's in the same hospital that the dad's getting released from. And then the mom's like, you killed my boy. And I'm like, yeah, what's the When did all that?
It couldn't have been that long. But
It what right?
what's unrealistic is y'all done already shot, jumped somebody, and everything else, and you just gonna stand there in the hospital like, oh, we can't do nothing here. Y'all done pulled a body out of a casket and carried it out. Y'all done.
Maybe they learning their lesson now.
And now you done killed my brother, and all of a sudden stay cool. Like this ain't. First of all, Clarence, the dad is awake. Why aren't they? Why are they free?
Yeah.
Why
There's
are
a
they?
lot of things that didn't.
The mama and the brothers, all of them should have been in jail. That's what I would have liked. There's no way that they should have been free.
Mm-hmm.
And then it needs to be over. No, it's not over. They shot your daddy. You pushing your daddy in a wheelchair right now. It's not over.
It's not over.
It's not over.
It
Everybody
ain't
either
over.
need to be dead or in jail. Like what? It needs to be over. And I get you got to do the cheesy ending and with the like. It need to be over.
Yeah.
That was a very play ending. That was stage play ending.
Mm-hmm.
But like, no, because if it was me, that was
at least some fisticuffs, something.
Nah, that was going to end way differently.
Yeah.
You know, my last time would have been like, bitch, you next. You know what I'm saying? That would have been like, you see, I ain't playing. You like,
oh yeah,
right? Like, you know, do I strike you as the one you want to play? You done already seen what I did to your son. Your son already taking a dirt nap.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? I would have started, yeah. I would have started describing, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. Like, let them have it.
Yeah.
So, well, that was interesting.
Yeah, it was super interesting. Look, keep them coming, Tyler. Keep them coming. And no, as far as movies go, I was entertained. It was more of a comedy to me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not to invalidate or try to lighten those who actually have experienced what they were depicting. I'm just speaking to the way it was depicted. I'm sorry, I laughed in some parts. Like you know what I'm saying? Absolutely. But I do want to shout out Tyler Perry though for his work, the legacy that he's left for Black people working, you know, cast, crew. I know both Megan Good and what's the guy's name? Corey. Yeah. You know, they've come out and said that they made more for this movie than they've made for any other movie that they've worked on. You know what I mean? And they were treated like they. And
that says a lot for Megan Good because she's worked on a lot of movies. I would say
but she ain't never been the lead. I don't remember any time other than Harlem. I don't remember a movie where Megan Good was the lead. She was supporting, like she was supporting in Biker Boys. She was supporting in Stomp the Yard. But like,
shout out to the Debbie Morgan, Megan Good reunion with from Eve's Bayou. I didn't realize it at the time, but after I watched it, I was like, oh yeah, we've seen them together before.
Yeah, Megan's done some work, but I like the fact that Tyler's gonna do Tyler, no matter what the people say. You know, and I encourage people, even if to laugh or suck your teeth at the work, tune into the work, because you watching it, regardless of how you feel about Tyler Perry or his work, you watching it is keeping Black people working. You know what I mean? So if anything, and I know you know me, you gotta pull my coattail, and it's not because it's Tyler Perry, it's just I'm not his target audience, you know. I will admit sometimes it's triggering for me because I struggle entering spaces where men are inherently the villain.
I'm sorry. I'm reading the comments. Yes, Adrian, it was like Death Saved My Life or something like that.
Death Saved My Life?
She faked her death to get away from an abuse. So it was kind of like,
like damn. Like, see, I definitely don't watch Lifetime movies. But To those who have experienced domestic abuse, yeah, I mentioned Harlem.
It's on
Um,
Hulu. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
For those who experienced domestic abuse, um, man or woman alike, are in toxic relationships that you uh feel it's difficult to get out of, please, please, please get the help that you need.
Mhm.
Even if it's post like therapy, reach out to people, because the trauma and the effects of that, and you want to get to a place to where you can love again, but offer the person that you meet the best version of you,
Mhm.
as much as possible, right? You definitely want to be with somebody that can help you unpack the remnants of that trauma. But if you're still in the relationship, please do what you have to do to get yourself safe, because you're not safe in that relationship,
Mhm.
physically, emotionally. And I'm not just speaking to women, I'm speaking to men and women alike. Because there are men that are in situations like this. You know what I mean? It
Mhm.
might look a little bit different, but because they're men, they don't speak up, and people look at, well, why don't you just da 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 da, and you letting her, you know what I mean? Um, so yeah, y'all, I'm praying for y'all. It's Domestic violence is not a laughing matter.
At all.
It's not, and you definitely don't want to blame the victims, because there's so many different variables of things that are going on, but everybody needs to get help and heal. But you can't help your abuser um in the relationship, and you helping your abuser is not your charge.
Mm. That's
So
good.
you got to recognize your charge. Don't stay in an abusive situation trying to fix them to stop abusing you. No. Like,
And we know there's so many layers because somebody, may watch this and go, and remind us, because I'm sure we all have heard or are aware that one of the most dangerous times in a relationship that has domestic violence is when someone tries to leave. So,
mhm,
we want to be sensitive to the fact that we understand that it's not always easy to leave. But I think what I understand from you is more so, making that decision and knowing
mhm,
that, you have value and worth, and, you know, you are affected by that, and so are others, right? If children are involved, or your families that are,
yeah,
trying to get you out, like there's so many things that are connected to that, which is why it is such a serious situation. So even though, of course, we were watching this in a movie and laughing, as you mentioned, it's not a laughing matter in real life, and we really do just pray for anybody that is experiencing this or has experienced it, and you're trying to make sense of, because we didn't really get into it, but other themes in Black Christian households about being a good wife and sticking it out, or even a good
mm,
husband, right? Like,
mhm.
we took these vows and God hates divorce, and I'm in it.
Then I say, I mean, let's jump on and do an episode about it. You
Yeah.
know, um, we'll schedule a time, and because it needs to be talked about, right?
Hmm.
Because we are indoctrinated with so many beliefs that are counterintuitive, and counter to our safety, our emotional, physical, financial
Hmm.
health, or like all of these things, right? Under the teaching of, well, God hates divorce. Well, God is gonna have to forgive,
And
because
he does,
yeah,
right? Like, he
mhm,
can hate divorce, but there's still outs for us,
yeah,
right? That
mhm.
are biblical. So, and that also goes into knowing the word and
The
not just
Bible
what
also says
somebody
use
told you.
wisdom. Wisdom is principal thing, therefore get wisdom. But with all that getting, get an understanding, right?
Yeah. And
So read the proverb. Like, look, what Vanessa Bell Calloway say, it ain't okay to let a motherfucker pound on you.
it ain't. It ain't.
Right?
It absolutely isn't.
It's not. So but like Dre said, it's not easy,
Hmm.
right? But you have to start the process, right? You
So
have
the
to,
only place where you'll hear a scripture quoted
and then
along with
cussing.
some bleep bleep expletives. Okay, like that's when
Hey,
you.
I'll
That's
say
the
it all the time.
crossroads. Okay, we right at
Right.
the middle.
Yeah, I'm
And
right in the middle. I love Jesus, but I cuss a little bit.
Jesus and a little gangster. Okay, it goes down here.
Hey,
It
but like I said,
really
I
does.
think look, we write Jesus a certain way, but I fully believe Jesus cussed. Like he wasn't flipping tables and saying nice things. I know he was like, "You mother,"
Jeez.
right? You think he was on the cross being nice?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like spikes in my hand. You motherfucker, like thou is mother, right? Something I don't know. What
My,
he says,
my.
my God, Father, why hast thou forsaken me? You know what that means? Why the
Yes,
fuck
come
you
on,
letting me
Peter.
go through this?
Yes, Peter's like, I got this. I got you,
Oh yeah,
Jesus.
yeah. Well, he cussed Peter out too. Peter, get your scary ass out here on this water. Like, if
Oh my
anybody got
goodness.
cussed out, it was Peter. You know what I'm saying? Somebody,
OMG.
one of you motherfuckers is gonna betray me.
Oh, now he done turned to Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah,
Samuel L.
exactly.
Jesus. Have mercy.
Samuel L. Jesus. There it is.
Y'all done turned
But
my savior to
yeah.
Samuel.
So we are going to me and Dre will have to have a production meeting so we can plan the episode where we dive deeper into the topics that we didn't get to touch on as a result of this movie. And so we'll definitely be back with a part 2. But for those who are watching, if you have not still, please make sure that you subscribe on YouTube. Also join the Patreon, right? And look at it this way, y'all. We just need this, we need the support. We need the support from you. And so what we're asking you to do is buy us a drink once a month.
Yep.
Right.
And you get to see the tears here.
Yeah. So we have Rhodey. We have Road Dog at $15 a month. We have Pathfinder at $20. We have Navigator at $35. And then we have Trailblazer at $50. And I want to let me shout out my brother who is a Trailblazer.
Shout out the trail. Right.
Right. He is a Trailblazer and he makes it
Holla.
known. He's also our
Creative director?
No, content director.
Oh, content director.
Yeah,
Okay.
content director. So he has to approve all the content.
Hey, Kiana. Okay, one of our roadies, a member. She is so she's adding us to her text.
Hey.
I ain't
mad at it. We love you and thank y'all for the support. So y'all, we are growing, we are improving the show incrementally, and our next goal is to get to our first 100 members in our Patreon, and after that we are on to 5,000. Right, that is.
Lars just wants to get to 5K. I'm like, can we?
Yeah, listen, it's the quintessential man-woman relationship. I'm about the big picture, she's about the details. So
I'm like, we can do it, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm looking.
She like, can we just get to 100? I'm like, well, you got to pass 100 to get to 5,000. So
I'm excited for both.
So make sure y'all share this, tell your friends. We're looking to have a good time. We're still building some things behind the scenes, but some new things are launching very, very soon. We are working very, very hard on this to bring y'all great content. Right. So
and so you'll see, pop-ups like this based on, what you all ask us to review. We have a poll up right now on the Patreon for Your Honor. Do you want us to do episode by episode? Or do you want us to wrap up the seasons 1 and season 2? But also every week we are here talking about
House of the Mother Dragon.
It's them dragons.
I'm listen, and I'm accidentally watching Game of Thrones again.
I'm definitely going back because you're killing me, Larry. I remember certain stuff, but the details, I'm like,
oh yeah, I got all the details. So
I feel like I need I don't know. I'm gonna have to look up something. Yeah,
I might just have to create a Game of Thrones course and give people So
yes, thank you for spending time with us. We're about to do this, and well, I'm gonna feed myself.
Go minister to your husband.
Yeah, we are team stay married.
Stay
Okay.
married. Right.
Do what you do. We wrapping up here, but we just want to say
Yeah.
thank you again. And of course, those of you who are just joining us for the first time, or maybe few the first few times, letting you know how often we are here doing this type of content and why we want you to join the Patreon so that you don't miss it.
Right.
Okay.
Well, with that said, y'all, thank y'all for joining us at this pop-up. If you have any other suggestions, like we said, send it to us. If it's a series, if it's a movie y'all want us to watch and review and dive in, we'll take a look at it. But until then, this has been another episode of the Crossroads Watch Party.
Yeah.
And as always, remember,
be free to be you.
we'll see y'all next time.
See you next time. Bye.